I mean, to be fair, I was, but you got me. You were correct in the sense that the Norse worship was not predating Yahweh, which I was simply wasn't aware of. So I'll give you that. Like I was wrong on that. But overall, when it comes to the concept, and I think religion, just in general, does not do divinity any justice, and that is like my overall point. Because from my perspective, religion is somebody else's experience with divinity. It's not you having this experience with what we consider to be God or the divine or anything else. It's somebody else who wrote this down, then they fed it to everybody else, and now from that perspective, now people are trying to conduct themselves. There's nothing that anybody went through directly, nothing that anybody experienced. It's all just pretty much being passed down and pushed down from one person to the other without anybody actually sitting back and thinking about how it might relate to not only themselves but in the broader implication of things. There's that, and then I think there are so many ways that people who follow religion are trying to connect to divinity like wholeheartedly, but then I think it almost creates like a ceiling that then limits their capacity to actually experience it. And I think it's almost maddening to see people who genuinely want to connect to divinity, and then again, divinity is so much more vast than just what any one religion believes. So I'm not saying that when you're connecting to the Christian God or the Christian the energy of that concept, I'm not saying that you're not connecting to divinity. But I personally think that if there is some divine force letting you know that you deserve to be tormented for eternity for finite crimes, I don't think that that kind of connection is healthy, to so to speak. Any construct of divinity or any construct of a higher power that's smarter than a human that I've interacted with has never even threatened me, much less wanted me to suffer consequences for an action that they knew I would have committed. Maybe they wanted me to maybe shift a behavior or grow or be better, but it was never the concept of now because I don't adhere to these rule systems, now I then suffer for eternity. And I don't think that's healthy. I'll forever reference the one time where I told my grandmother that people literally saw heavens, multiple heavens, with their eyes, and her first response was there a hell too? It's not healthy to think that there's some divine force that's going to punish you simply for existing as it made you, especially for existing as it knew you're going to, because in the Christian concept of God, it always knew that everything was going to happen. It's all knowing, so it knew what it's going to happen before it happened, and then on top of it, then created creations with the explicit intention, with that being said, to then go to hell or to suffer. Now, to be fair, I don't think that any religion is very healthy to be, from my perspective and what I understand. I think it serves a purpose for what it serves, and I guess in some grand cosmic scale, there is some reason for it. I understand that, souls and higher intelligences have a better understanding of this human experience and a broader perspective that then, you know, probably allow there to be a different understanding as to why religion plays a role in the human experience to the point that it does. But at least from the human perspective that I hold and what I've witnessed and what I've experienced, religion does almost nothing beneficial or nothing of the sort of what people actually want it to do. It creates a lot more division, a lot more divide, and I think as well, even now, especially a lot of spirituality that's starting to be explored is starting to follow that exact same breath of trying to, find divinity and then dividing people. So I think it's really difficult nowadays, especially when there's so many people telling you that there has to be one specific way to do something that is accurate.